my Facebook account when I was 11 years old. That means I lied about my age, and that also means that for my entire life, aside from being a small child, I have been on social media. And social media has been a huge thing for me that I use to distract myself from internal discomfort, meaning boredom or loneliness or pain, whatever it may be. Looking back over my life, I know that that has been a huge pattern for me and just a coping mechanism. And so that means that for my entire life, I've been using social media to cope. I wouldn't say that I was seriously addicted, as in I wasn't spending 4 to 8 hours every single day scrolling on my phone or anything like that, but I was addicted in the sense that I just couldn't really get myself to stop, and I couldn't use it in moderation. I tried so many different things to help me use it in moderation because there were so many things about it that I loved. I loved staying in touch with friends and family who literally live on many different continents, and I love getting to share my personal life and be able to engage with people in that sense. I loved that part of it, but I just was not able to use it in moderation. I tried setting time limits for myself. I even really used my brain and made up a plan because I realized that the reason that I always need to have my phone with me is because I didn't have a way to tell the time aside from my phone, and I always am taking pictures with my phone. So what I did was I bought myself a watch and I bought myself a little compact camera, which I'm talking to right now, so that I could carry those things with me instead of my phone, and for most of the day leave my phone in a drawer and only use it when I need to text someone or in other designated moments. And all those things worked really, really great for a while until I started having a rough day. And then I would just fall right back into scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So one day, my son was playing in the living room and he was climbing on one of his little chairs. And I had seen this scene happen before where he starts to kind of lean over the chair and slowly would tip, and then a couple of times I saw it coming and so I could run and catch him. And then one day he did a full-on face plant because his chair tipped too much, and even though it probably was a slow thing and I could have caught it, I was scrolling on my phone and so I missed it. And I'm of course not wanting to like lean into this whole mom guilt thing of, oh, if only I had been paying attention then he wouldn't have fallen, and because there's a tractor. Because honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world if your child falls. He's an active little kid. He loves climbing and he lives in this world, so he's gonna fall and hurt himself a couple of times, but it was just the reason that he fell because I was scrolling on my phone, I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't being present. That just was really kind of a wake-up call for me, like, you know what, I'm just so done with this. And so he had a little scrape on his face from that, and every time I saw that the next few days, it just would not leave my mind. So fast forward a couple of days when I was watching a YouTube video from someone that I follow since quite a while, and she was just talking about habits that she wants to implement in 2023. And she was just talking about how she wants to be less on her phone and wasn't exactly sure how she was going to implement that or how that would look, but she just feels like she's on it too much and is always struggling with it. And I don't know what it was about that specific video. I don't think it was maybe anything specific that she said or about the situation, but it just was another thing kind of on that thing that was already brewing internally that was like, I don't want to be the person who's always saying, oh, I want to be less on my phone, because I've been saying that for years. And oh, I want to be more present, and this is a habit that I'm wanting to start, and trying to make another plan to be on it less. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Later that day, I talked about it a little bit with my husband, told him that I had pretty much made the decision, but also just wanted to see what he thought about it. Anyways, and so then I made a little post on my Instagram and Facebook and said that I am going to leave social media, and asked if anyone wanted to stay in touch with me, that they could send me their email address or phone number or something, because yeah, that's a part of it that I think I really am going to miss. It's just having those little interactions with people who I know from the past and who live far away. All that to say, lots of people did send me their contact information, and let me just tell you, every single time I got a message of someone sharing their email address with me or something and saying that they wanted to stay in touch, it just made me so happy. And I was even surprised at some of the people who did reach out, because yeah, of course, maybe we had commented a couple of times or replied to each other's stories, but I wasn't actually aware that, I don't know, they liked me or they actually wanted to stay in contact with me, and it just brought the connection to a real point, actually, and made me realize, yeah, they do want to be connected with me, and this isn't just this fake social media thing. No, okay, that didn't work. I gave it a couple of days, and then I deactivated my accounts. Not only that, I deleted most apps off of my phone. So basically, what I have left on my phone of the apps that I used to very frequently use are Spotify and WhatsApp, and the rest are just gone. For the first couple of days, I noticed I would just constantly grab my phone, unlock it. There was just nothing for me to do there. And then I put it back, and I just noticed it was this habit that I was doing it so often before, and I just never even realized that I was doing it. And then on the other hand, as a non-direct effect, I had a really hard week internally. Oh, Millie. I noticed that the distractions that I normally had from my loneliness or boredom or the internal pain that I am dealing with, as all of us are dealing with, I just didn't have that distraction. And even though nothing happened that week, are you gonna fall backwards? Did I push you? Even though nothing happened that week that made it actually more difficult, I was just really struggling emotionally. Even though, yeah, it was really hard, it also did force me to lean into it a little bit more and try and resolve that internal pain, which is kind of like a lifelong journey, but it's a good one. In my emotional health journey, I have realized that being present is absolute key. And so I've decided to fight for being present with every tool that I have. I'm sure you know that pain or discomfort is your body's way of telling you that something's wrong. And emotional pain or discomfort is no different. And so if you're constantly numbing it with something, then it means whatever is causing that irritation is just gonna continue until you actually address it. And so removing those numbing things in your life is probably one of the best things that you could do for yourself. And I think that's where social media can be such a gray area, is because it masquerades as connection, which is something that we all crave and need. And it gives us the message that we are getting this connection and we are getting acceptance and we are getting love and likes, when it's actually just robbing from us the very present and the real connections and the real life experiences that are right in front of us, and we're missing it. So I've only been off social media for hardly even 3 weeks, so I can't really say that much about it. But I must say, I am loving it. I'm loving life without it. I'm loving sitting at the breakfast table with my boys and not being distracted by a screen and then feeling like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna put it away, guys, and talk with you and engage with you. I read them books now, or I talk with them even though they can hardly talk back. I'm loving going for walks and not needing to take my phone with me. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that the present moment is just all beautiful and perfect. There's a reason why we try and escape. But if you'll allow yourself to listen, that pain might cue you in on some really important things. It's uncomfortable, but it will probably lead you closer to wholeness. And that's what we're all pursuing, right?